everyone, my name is Eliza at Eliza Journals, and if you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you all my July TBR, and I'm like really super excited about this month because I feel like I'm getting back into my reading groove after being in a slump in like April after my grandmother passed away. So I kind of feel like I'm getting in the groove a little bit. So if you've ever been in a reading slump, you know how that is. It's like you want to read but you just can't read. So I'm actually a little more motivated to read now that it's July. I don't know why, but I just think that slowly getting back into my reading habit. So I think May I read like 8 books or so, and then June I read 15, and then July I think I want to try to stick to that goal, but if I can't, that's completely fine. I'm not, oh my gosh, sorry about that. I was rudely interrupted. But anyway, so I want to try to actually get back into the swing of things and maybe try to hit like 15 books. If not, I would really say between 12 and 15. So let's see. I'm trying to see what I should start with first because I don't want this video to be too long because y'all know I could talk. Okay, so the first book, y'all already know that I love J.D. Robb, which is Nora Roberts. So this particular book is called Faithless in Death. So this particular book is about a crime of passion. And then, of course, Detective Eve Dallas is going to come save the day with her adorable husband, Rourke. So I absolutely love these thriller series. So if you're not familiar with Nora Roberts' In Death series, she has like a mystery suspense, I guess, thriller series called In Death. So she's been actually writing these books since like 1995. And I would suggest, people ask me all the time, are they standalone books? These are standalone books. However, I would suggest you read the first 2 books to understand the dynamics of her relationship with the people that she are friends with now that are in pretty much like the police force, like reporters. So it just pretty much breaks down like the relationship that she has with the people that she is in connection with now, like for the future books. Y'all know what I mean. Okay, so the next book is called In Our Shoes, where this book kind of actually dives into some racial social injustice, dismantling the biases of the Black woman. Also, it kind of deals with like some colorism. So I'm actually excited to see what this book is about. It is by Brianna Hope. And don't worry, I will link all these books in the description box. So I cannot wait to dive in this because out of any type of historical fiction, whether it's historical nonfiction or historical fiction, I definitely love books that deals with a lot of social injustice. Okay, so the next book, I'm actually cheating. This is actually from the library. This is by Harlan Coben. He's another thriller writer that I absolutely love. So when I say I'm cheating, I actually started this last night on the 30th. So when you're seeing this video, it's probably like a week old now. But nevertheless, it's so big. So I really didn't realize that it was actually a large print, but it's pretty cool. So it's about 400 pages. Yeah, it's about 400 pages. So this book is about a private investigator. 20 years prior, he woke up with a girl in his bed, and he was like covered in blood with a knife in his hand. So 20 years later, he is a private investigator, and he actually he sees the girl that was in the bed, and when he notices her, like, she bolts. So Harlan Coben definitely takes you for a ride. He definitely helps you to turn the pages over and over and over. I literally was reading this last night and I fell asleep, so I only got to chapter 2. So this is actually the first book that I'm reading, and because it's from the library and it's only like a 2-week hold, I have to try to finish this week. Hopefully by Wednesday. No, today is Tuesday. So hopefully by Thursday, that book will be finished. So then this book is called Lies That Bind by Diana Rodriguez. I'm going to say Wallach is the last name. The authors with these these authors with these names. So basically, this is about a girl. Her name is Anastasia. She goes to Italy because she's looking for her sister. However, I guess her family has been in, however, her family has been engaging in like some criminal activity. So she's decided that she's going to dismantle the criminal empire that her family has gotten them entangled in. And I actually think this may be YA. I think I got this out of the YA section at Books A Million. So I'm definitely going to be eating this up because y'all, YA books are really, really good. So this book is called Liar's Beach. It's by Katie Cotugno. So this is about some high school friends. They go to this beachfront estate for the summer and they think they're going to have a good time, but what ends up happening is someone drowns in the pool. So now everyone thinks that there is a killer among the friends on the vineyard. So I'm interested to read this one. I also took the liberty to find this on Libby, and they actually just released it to me, so that way I can actually listen while I'm driving, while I'm at the gym, and while I'm at work. This book is really not that long. It's actually about 250 pages. So I'm definitely excited to actually read this. And I think this, I'm not sure, I think this may be YA too. I have to actually double check, but I think that was a YA. So the next book is called 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. I've never read any of his books before. I actually have 2 of his books that are actually on my TBR for this month. And I'll get to that later. So this book is about 9 strangers who receives like basically a list of names in the mail. So they basically like, okay, this is junk mail, but what ends up happening is things start happening to people whose names have been on the list. And then of course it goes from there to a detective trying to basically solve the murder, trying to determine like who's next. So I actually cannot wait to get into this. So I also downloaded the audiobook from Libby for this as well. And I only have like 12 days to listen to it. So basically all the ones that I have audiobooks for in any of my library books, of course, I'm going to actually read those first because those audios are actually due back, you know, within like a certain time frame. Okay, so the next book I have is Deep End. So I started reading this last month. I'm actually on chapter 5. So basically this is about Scarlett. She's a swimmer, and then there's a swim captain named Lucas, but Scarlett has had an injury, and however Lucas and Scarlett come up with some type of plan, which of course I don't know what the plan is, but they come up with some type of plan, and then they end up having a fling together. So now that they end up having a fling together, basically Scarlett is now, I think she's diving deep. So basically now I think she's diving into the deep end with her heart. So I started, like I said, reading this last month, and I really wasn't too much invested in this. So I did request the audio from Libby, and y'all know I'm probably like 100th in line. So what I may end up doing is I may end up using one of my Audible credits for this particular book, because right now it's like the book isn't bad, but I'm really having a hard time just getting into it. So the next book is called Invisible Sun by Kim Johnson. So this book is about a youth named Andre Jackson. He was in juvenile detention, but as he re-enters the community, he's noticed that a lot of things has changed. There's a lot of gentrification, and he notices that the schools are different, and he notices that his friends are different, and friends that he could trust, he felt like he no longer could trust. So his girlfriend, Sierra, has this adopted family. So during this time, he's like spending time with her family, but her brother Eric goes missing. So then Andre decides to take it upon himself to investigate Eric being missing, and apparently he may find out some things about this diverse family that Sierra lives with. Maybe the reason why Eric is missing, and also he may be to unravel some secrets behind his own arrest. So I definitely love a racial social injustice book. So the next one, look at the pretty cover. I love this cover. So the next one is called Off the Record by Cameron Garrett. So this book follows a girl named Josie Wright. She is actually a writer and she wins a contest to write a celebrity profile. However, when she starts to write the celebrity profile, she begins to become interested in the person that she's writing the profile for. So, however, some actresses begin to let her in on a secret in the one account of something that the celebrity has done. It's like it goes from one person to another. So there are multiple people telling her accounts of something obviously bad that this person has been doing. So now Josie is in the predicament of whether she should write the story about what they have told her or whether she should just leave it alone. So now she's just in the middle of like, should I expose this person or should I not? So I definitely cannot wait to read that one. And then, so y'all know this was in my June TBR last month. I did not get a chance to read it, so I'm going to try my best to read it now. So basically, y'all already know, if you've been following my channel, that I love Linda Castillo. She writes Amish mystery suspense thrillers, and I absolutely love the way that she actually writes her novels. So this one is basically about a woman who is found murdered in Painter's Mill, and then Chief of Police Kate Burkholder, of course, she always ends up solving the crime. So if y'all have never heard of Linda Castillo, she writes Amish, like these Amish thrillers. So this is pretty much like her Amish thriller series. And I think, I'm not sure what book this is, but she actually has, I think, 17 books. And her latest book comes out July 8th, and that one's called Rage. And I actually read that one in June, because that one was an audio art, which of course I gave it 5 stars because it was just amazing. So the next one is called Ray Bearer by Jordan Ufueko. And this particular story is about a girl. She was basically trained in isolation to become a part of the Crown Prince's Royal Council. However, she is thinking that once I am on the Crown Prince's court, that I'll be protecting the king, but the people who have trained her whole life actually has other plans. So I cannot wait to get into this one and find out what those plans are. So obviously the plans must be to kill the king. But look at this cover. Like, y'all, isn't this amazing? Cover is so amazing. Okay, so the next 2 physical books is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. So I did read Before I Let Go, which I'm going to be doing an unpacking video. It's, of course, like I'm not like a literary expertise, but I really do want to do a video solely for just that book. So that one was so good, and Kennedy Ryan actually responded to one of my posts on, I think it was Threads, and she told me that these books are pretty much standalone, but she said that there would be spoilers in her book. So she pretty much was like, you should like basically read from the first book to the last one. So I'm gonna take her advice and do that. So the first, Before I Let Go, was pretty much about Yasmin. And then, so pretty much like her series, which is called the Skyland series, is pretty much about Yasmin and her 2 friends, Hendrix and Soledad. So I'm actually going to read just a synopsis from the back of this one. So Soledad Barnes has her life all planned out, because of course she does. She plans everything, fixes everything. She's never met a party she couldn't host or a charge she couldn't lead. But none of her varied talents help when the life she built with the man who was supposed to be her forever goes poof in a cloud of betrayal and disillusion. So now I understand why Kennedy Ryan told me to actually read them in sequence, because in Before I Let Go, a little bit was revealed that Soledad's husband was cheating. So that was that. So I think that if I had read this one first, because I bought this first, I would have kind of been a little, I mean, I'm very intelligent, but I think I would have been like a little confused on the relationship Soledad had with her husband. if I hadn't read it in sequence. So I ended up ordering this from Amazon because this is the last book in the Skyland series. This came out, I think, in May. So this is called Can't Get Enough, and this book is about Hendrix. I've seen some Goodreads reviews. See, the reason why I don't like looking at reviews is because I've seen some really bad YouTube reviews on this book. And I hate when I see reviews before I actually get a chance to read it, because it's like, don't spoil it for everyone who hasn't read it. But I get it, it's their channel, they can make whatever videos they want. So I just pretty much like, I'm the type of person, I like to not read reviews, and I actually like to just read the book in order to give the book a fair chance of being good or not. Because sometimes some people can just like mess it up for you. So it says Hendrix Berry lives a fabulous life. She has phenomenal friends, a loving family, and a thriving business that places her in the entertainment industry's rarefied air. Your vision board. She's probably living it. She's a woman with goals, dreams, ambitions, always striving upward and in the midst of everything. She's facing her toughest challenge, yet caring for an aging parent who has time for romance. From her experience, there's a low ROI on relationships. She hasn't met the man who can keep up with her anyway until him. So I know I'm gonna eat this up, even if this has to be like the basis of my whole July. These two books right here, I'm definitely gonna eat these up because I have to read these. So the next two books are actually, one is an arc, and then one is, it's not an arc because it's already been released. It's just that the publisher released it to me to read so I can still review it. So it is The Missing Half. And I've literally seen that book a lot, and I was like, oh, I want to read that. And my friend actually had the book, and she said that she read it and it was really good. So I requested to read it because it was still available for you to actually read. So I was not prepared for that. The Missing Half. So basically, The Missing Half is about Nicole Nick Monroe is in a rut. At 24, she lives alone in an apartment in her hometown in Indiana. She's just gotten a DWI, and she works the same dead-end job she's been working since high school. A job she only has because her boss is a family friend and feels sorry for her. Everyone has felt sorry for her for the last 7 years, since the day her older sister Casey vanished without a trace. On the night Casey went missing, her car was found over 100 miles from home. The driver's door was open and her purse was untouched in the seat next to it. The only real clue in her disappearance was Jules Connor, another young woman from the same area who disappeared in the same way 2 weeks earlier, but with so little for the police to go on, both cases eventually went cold. So that seems like it's going to be real good, and y'all know I love me a really good thriller. And I actually have 49 days left to actually read that book. So I'm going to try to get that book read this month. So now this book is actually an art, which is William Kent Kruger's Apostles Cove. This comes out September 2nd. So this book says, a few nights before Halloween, as Court O'Connor gloomily ruminates on his upcoming birthday, he receives a call from his son, Stephen, who is working a nonprofit dedicated to securing freedom for unjustly incarcerated inmates. Stephen tells his father that decades ago, as the newly elected sheriff of Tamarack County, Court was responsible for sending an Ojibwe man named Axel Boucher to prison for a brutal murder that Stephen is certain he did not commit. Court feels compelled to reinvestigate the crime, but that is easier said than done. So I'm definitely going to be eating that up this month as well. That is definitely art I'm going to be trying to eat up this month, because I definitely love to finish my arcs when I request them. I really don't like my arcs lingering, and I know people be requesting like 50 books, and I'm like, I don't want to commit myself to that. So I only request arcs that I know that I'm going to like read like immediately. So anyway, I think that was 15, because I think this was 12. I think that was 15. I might be off. But anyway, so if you stay to the end of the video, let me know in the comments like what is on your July's TBR. What is your favorite genre? Put a green heart in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.